Welcome back to Adventures of an Ordinary Life. This is our final episode of this season, and I want to use it to zoom out a little. We've talked about overthinking, habits, loneliness, fear, distraction, rest, self compassion, comparison, all the small invisible forces that shape our days. Today, I want to talk about something bigger but also very quiet, becoming who you really are, slowly. Think back to who you were 5 or 10 years ago. Maybe you were in school, at a different job, in another city, with different people around you. Think about what you believed back then, what you were afraid of, what you wanted more than anything, what you thought your life would look like by now. Chances are you're not exactly that person anymore. Some things stayed, maybe your core values, certain preferences, a few long term dreams, but some things changed. Things you thought you could never survive. You did. People you thought you'd never live without, you learned to. Limits you believed were permanent, you outgrew them. You didn't become a new person in one dramatic moment. You became this version of you through thousands of tiny shifts, conversations, books, mistakes, quiet realizations, ordinary days. Becoming yourself has already been happening, whether you noticed or not. Sometimes it looks like big choices, leaving a job, ending a relationship, moving cities. But often it looks much smaller. Saying no once when you usually say yes. Admitting I don't actually like this. Allowing yourself to rest, letting yourself start something you feel drawn to, even if you're not ready. These are all micro movements toward a life that fits you better. Over this season, we've explored parts of your inner world. You've seen how overthinking tries to protect you but can trap you. Tiny habits can slowly rewrite your story. Loneliness is a signal, not a personal failure. Fear of failure can be met with the courage to begin badly. Your attention is something you can gently protect. Self compassion can soften your inner critic. Comparison can be turned into information, not just pain. Rest is a right, not a luxury. If you look closely, you'll notice something. All of these are not separate topics, they are tools, pieces of a quiet toolkit for becoming more yourself. When you overthink, you can now notice it and step back. When you feel stuck, you can start with a tiny habit. When you feel lonely, you can move one step toward yourself and one step toward someone else. When you feel afraid to begin, you can allow yourself a bad first draft. When you're exhausted, you can ask, what kind of tired am I? When you attack yourself, you can practice a softer sentence. When you compare, you can ask, what do I really want? These are not quick fixes. They are gentle companions for the long road of becoming. Let's imagine the you who exists a few years from now. That future you will not appear suddenly out of nowhere. They grow out of the small choices you make on days like today. You don't have to completely reinvent your life. You can start with one habit that supports the person you want to become, one boundary that protects your energy, one act of self compassion instead of self attack, one honest conversation, one moment of rest that you do on purpose. You are not behind in becoming yourself. You are in the middle of it. As we close this season of Adventures of an Ordinary Life, I want you to remember something simple. The most important work you are doing is often invisible. No one else sees the thoughts you question, the habits you change, the courage it takes to start, the softness it takes to rest, the honesty it takes to say, this is me. But those small private shifts are how a life slowly turns. If you've listened to these episodes, reflected, tried even one small experiment, you are already in the process of becoming more you. Not a perfect version, not a successful version by someone else's definition, just a truer one. Thank you for letting me sit with you in your thoughts, your questions, your ordinary days. If this season has meant something to you, you can revisit any episode when you need it. Share the series with someone walking a similar path. Keep using these tools in your own way. This season may be ending, but your story is not. Until we meet again in another chapter, another season, another ordinary day, may you keep walking slowly toward the person you already are inside. with patience, with curiosity, and with just a little more kindness than before.